An attorney is accusing Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, of groping her back in 1999. Now, reporters corroborated her claims with several of her friends, and apparently her friends had said that she made these accusations against him back in 1999, but never reported it and never made the accusations public. Now, I'm assuming that she has now come forward considering what Donald Trump has said about women in the media and considering what he had said in that tape regarding how he believes he should be able to grab women by the pussy without consent. Now, her name is Moira Smith. She's the vice president and general counsel at NSTAR Natural Gas Company, and she told the National Law Journal that the justice grabbed her without her consent back in 1999 when she met him at a Truman Foundation dinner. Now, she was part of the team that set the dinner up, that planned the dinner, and she said that she was really excited. She really looked up to Justice Thomas, and so she was looking forward to meeting him. And while she was setting the table, she alleged that he came up from behind and just groped her. He groped me while I was setting the table, suggesting that I should sit right next to him. Smith told the National Law Journal that Thomas cupped his hand around my butt and pulled me pretty close to him. Also, several of her friends and former roommates, fellow Truman scholars who said they remembered her describing the incident at the time.
Yeah, and after pulling her in by cupping her butt, she said he squeezed it again, right? And so now Clarence Thomas was accused of sexual harassment by Anita Hill during his confirmation hearings, very famous moment in American political history. And a lot of people were skeptical, and back then I was a little Republican schmuck, and I was skeptical as well. And I kept thinking, why? Why would a guy do that, right? And his lines don't make any sense. Pubic hair on the coke. What's that point of that, right? And but now I realize, having grown up and gotten a lot more life experience, that yeah, guys say a lot of things that don't make sense while hitting on women. And I found it so outside of my experience. Like, who in a work setting would go and try to force themselves on women this aggressively, right? That's because it wasn't in my context. But you find out, no, for a lot of older conservatives, they have this sense of entitlement. Yeah, she works under me, that's it. I get to do what I want, right? And I grab her when I want, and I sexually harass her when I want. And that was from an old school mindset. And so that's why I couldn't understand. Now I get it. And so, and this is the amazing part of this is after he went through the Anita Hill hearings. And he's a Supreme Court justice. Not only is he a Supreme Court justice, but people accused him of sexual harassment, and he was livid. He said how he was irate in his denials, and he said this was a high-tech lynching. Then he gets on the court, and he's like, oh, come here, baby. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Because they think, no, see, I got away with it. I'm on the highest court in the land, so I'm going to keep on groping women. And they're on my side. They're conservatives. They're this. I don't care. I'm just going to grab them. I'm entitled to it.
I know. I think the fact that it happened after allegedly happened after the Anita Hill hearings is what's the most, I don't want to say surprising, but it's just so brazen.
But you know, you see it in Roger Ailes, you see it in Donald Trump. They keep on doing it because we keep on letting them get away with it. Bill Cosby, 50 women, right? Because he's like, I don't know, nobody's stopping me. So they tried to stop him, they couldn't, and he went on there, and people say, oh, this is not relevant. Well, it turns out maybe it is relevant because he does do it over and over. He even did it when he was on the Supreme Court. Okay, now, to her credibility on whether this actually happened or not. Why would a vice president and general counsel at a company, when she's around 40 years old, come out about a story that happened 17 years ago if it isn't true? Clarence Thomas isn't part of the election. He's not running. He's a Supreme Court justice. They sit on the court forever. There is no incentive at all. She's not going to sue him. That's not how it works. She was there. She was happy to be there when she was 23 years old. She had no malice towards him. Why on God's green earth would she make this up? I suppose anything is within the realm of possibility, but it seems really unlikely. So if you don't believe her, there's got to be something about you that makes you not believe something that everyone else rationally thinks is fairly likely given the circumstances. So I don't know. Maybe you think, like, some of the Trump supporters are saying now, don't man shame him. Men get to grab 23-year-olds and do whatever they want.
I think that in situations, especially high-profile situations where someone is accused of something that they likely did and then they get away with it, they feel emboldened by the fact that they got away with it, right? And when you're in a position of power, you're able to get away with a lot more. And, to her credit, coming forward with these accusations now is actually a pretty risky thing to do. And
of course.
Yeah.
She's going to make a lot of people who are Republicans really mad, right? And so could there be powerful people inside her company or the next company that she might work for who might not give her a job as general counsel? She's already got that is a really good job. So I don't see how this could possibly help her career-wise, but it could really hurt her. Look at what happened with Colin Kaepernick. When he sat for the Star Spangled Banner, a whole bunch of GMs went and said, oh, that's it, we're never going to hire that guy again. If he gets cut by the 49ers, his career is done. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of risk in taking these high-profile positions. And a lot of the excuses the Trump people make is, oh, they want to get rich or they want to be in the spotlight or there's an election going on. None of that is true here. Mm-hmm. So, man, I was going to say for the people who at the time said it's not relevant, but then I realized I defended him at the time. Mm-hmm. So you got to call it like it is. And so, my bad. It turns out that's who Clarence Thomas is. Podcast the whole 2-hour Young Turks every single day, commercial-free. All-Star Tuesdays, Aggressive Progressives, Old School, Post Games, TYT Classics. You get it all with membership. Do it now. TYTnetwork.com/join.